Much ado has been made as of late about how I've changed over the course of the last few years. In light of this fact, I have decided to do a small series of videos wherein I express my current attitudes towards various subjects that I have addressed in the past. Today, we will talk about leftism. I still don't quite understand what leftism is, even though I consider myself to be a leftist. For a long time, I made no distinction between liberals and leftists. It's a distinction that many Americans seem to struggle with, perhaps by design. We like to perceive politics on a basic left-right plane, which saps our political conversations of nuance sometimes. To some, when I say I'm a leftist, they say, "Fraud! You are no leftist. You believe X. You once said Y. You voted for Z." I see no reason to argue with these people. The labels used to describe my beliefs do not, in and of themselves, encompass my beliefs. I can tell you this, though. Capitalism should perish from this earth. It turns everything into a commodity with a price tag. Healthcare should be a human right, but instead, it is a product, another scheme to part you with the meager sum of money you are paid at your exploitative job. This is just one example. Housing and education, I feel the same way about. I do allow that there may exist certain circumstances wherein limited and regulated capitalistic enterprise may be permissible. However, still not too keen on the idea. Socialism, to me, is the idea that the value generated by your labor should belong to you, not to your boss. Other ideas may be associated with this idea. There may be numerous arguments as to how feasible this is, or that is, or how this could be done, or, whatever. A lot of specific details to go over. And on those debates, I take no firm side. I simply believe that we as a society should strive to get as close to that goal as possible by whatever means are effective. Now, do I believe that everyone in a society should be completely equal, with equal access to all resources? No. I believe that all human beings are deserving of food, clothing, shelter, health care, basic necessities. I think that beyond that, a person's, we'll use the word wealth for lack of a better word, a person's wealth should be determined by the value that they create. How that value is determined and who gets to determine it are valid questions. And I don't claim to possess the answers. However, I think in some instances, it is fairly unambiguous. If you work at a coffee shop with, say, 6 other people, then the profit generated by that shop needs to be split 7 ways. Now, obviously, that is a very simplistic example. I bring it up only to demonstrate the general principle in very, very, very basic terms. There are thousands of nuances that we don't have the time to explore here. The devil, after all, is in the details. For example, what happens when the coffee shop is part of an international empire with thousands of employees? What if some workers are part-time and some are full-time, What if some employees have more highly specialized skills than others that they worked hard to acquire? These questions and more need to be addressed in a way that can be generally perceived by all as equitable and as fair. However, the general principle, I believe, is sound. And that is why I call myself a leftist. Now, you may choose to say that I am not a leftist. I don't care. My beliefs are the same regardless of the label being applied to them. I'm not interested in being part of anyone's club. I'm interested in advancing ideas that create a more just, equitable, and free society. Now, I ask that if you disagree with anything I've said here, please remember that the purpose of these videos is to express my current attitudes towards various subjects that pertain to this channel. I am not attempting, at least not at this time, to make an argument. I am merely communicating to you my current attitudes on the subject at hand. Regardless of how you felt about my words, I do thank you kindly for taking the time out of your very, very busy day to listen to what I had to say. And I ask that you check out the links in my description, subscribe to this channel if you are so inclined, and support me on Patreon if you feel like I'm worth it. Thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.